What's up, guys? It's Chris Sarai bringing you another edition of the Car Concierge Show, the show that helps with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of your vehicle. On today's show, we're going to talk about the massive exodus out of California as we see another automaker, as it were, kind of, sort of, move out of California and move its headquarters over to Georgia. After that, we're going to check out a horrible crash that happened over in Brooklyn and talk about how these massive pile-up crashes can truly be avoided, and if they can be avoided at all. And last but not least, we're going to talk about how the gas prices have skyrocketed after our attack on Iran and their response. Let's jump straight into it, guys. All right, first up, we're going to check out, and we're going to continue to talk about this a little bit as much as we can. California has been going through a mass exodus where a lot of the companies here that are based here in California have moved out of state due to the billion-dollar tax that they're putting on these companies and their owners. And it's a bad thing, I think. Honestly, we're running people out of California, and that's going to be a problem down the line with people having jobs and all those type of things. So let's check out this quick story about the Yamaha moving its headquarters out of California over to Georgia and try to make sense of this mass exodus.
Hey there, folks. Today, we're diving into a fascinating business move that's got me intrigued. Yamaha, the iconic Japanese motor company, is packing up its U.S. headquarters and leaving California after nearly 50 years. Now, this isn't just a simple relocation. It's a significant shift that reveals a lot about the business landscape in America. So, let's explore why this move matters and what it says about the broader trends in the U.S. economy. First, let's set the scene. Yamaha has been a staple in California since 1979, producing ATVs, boat engines, and even personal watercraft. But now they're heading to Georgia, citing U.S. tariffs and market changes as the main reasons. This is a big deal because it's not just a change of address, it's a strategic decision to improve profitability. You see, Yamaha is facing increased costs due to tariffs, and they're taking action to stay competitive. Personally, I think this is a smart move. Companies need to adapt to changing market conditions, and Yamaha is doing just that. What makes this really interesting is the broader context. California, once a hub for businesses, is seeing an exodus of corporations and wealthy individuals. The high cost of doing business and the proposed wealth tax are driving people away. And Yamaha's move is part of this larger trend. It's almost like a ripple effect where one company's decision influences others. In my opinion, this raises questions about the long-term sustainability of certain state policies. Are they inadvertently pushing businesses away?
Yes.
It's a delicate balance between progressive policies and creating an attractive business environment. Now, let's talk about Georgia. The Peach State is welcoming Yamaha with open arms, and it's easy to see why. Georgia has positioned itself as a business-friendly state, offering incentives and a more favorable economic climate. Governor Brian Kemp is thrilled to have Yamaha, and he's not shy about inviting other California-based companies to make the move. This is a strategic play by Georgia, and it's working. They're attracting businesses by offering a more stable and cost-effective environment. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Yamaha or California. It's a reflection of the evolving business landscape in America. Companies are becoming more mobile and strategic, seeking out the best environments for their operations. This trend has implications for regional economies and the distribution of wealth. It's a game of economic chess, where states compete to attract businesses and companies make calculated moves to optimize their position. In conclusion, Yamaha's relocation is more than a simple address change. It's a symbol of the shifting sands of the U.S. economy. It challenges us to consider the impact of policies on business decisions and the ripple effects they create. So, the next time you see a company relocating, remember there's often a deeper story and a strategic calculation behind it. That's all for now, folks. Stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of business.
Yeah, this is really bad for California. Let me first just say that, of course, I live in California and I absolutely unequivocally love California. I do. I love the people that I've met here. Loved the businesses that I've created. Of course, I love the weather. It's just absolutely beautiful where I live. We don't get snow or a lot of rain or anything like that. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, specifically where I live. But the government part of California, the governor, all the people who are making these rules and these policies and all these other things, they're destroying California. We have to understand that specifically this billionaire's tax. It's crazy that we even have it. I understand why they're putting it in because California is in a massive deficit, and and it's going to be extremely hard for California to get out of the red, as it were. But this is not the way to do it. We don't want to force all these companies and these businesses and these wealthy individuals out of California, because what they're going to do is they're going to take their jobs with them. And we're already having a problem when it comes to employment here in California. We have AI coming in and creating problems where people don't need to taking certain jobs. Not a lot. We don't see that AI is taking a lot of jobs, but it's there. It is one thing that is there, and it's happening to the point where people are losing their jobs because, they don't have to write the prompts or whatever the case may be. Copywriting is dead. All these other industries that people relied on to survive are dead because of AI. And California keeps putting us in a bind and put us in a situation where we're losing important people. Let's face it. These people are important to the landscape of California. The jobs that they provide, the headquarters that they provide, the taxes that they're paying on these businesses and all these other things. And slowly but surely, we've watched a massive exodus out of California because of this same thing. And it's truly, truly hurting California. We've seen several companies leave. We have the whole situation with gas, which we're going to get into later on. But what are we going to do, Californians? What are we going to do? I mean, think about it. Yamaha is moving its headquarters over to Georgia. Any jobs that Yamaha had here are gone. At their headquarters, they're probably going to start moving some of their other little businesses away from California over to Georgia. California is California because of so many things: the weather, the people, the just the beauty of the whole thing. It's California. But we, as a state, California has relied on that too much to the point where they've skyrocketed the price on everything, where it comes to gas, when it comes to almost anything. Everything in California is extremely expensive, including property, cars. All of things in California are extremely expensive. In Indiana, things are so much cheaper in Indiana. And it's crazy, the difference. The difference between one state to another is absolutely crazy. But we understand it. We know why California is quote unquote expensive to live in. We know how hard it is to live here and what you really have to do. And it's I've heard people say many times over that you have to be making six figures to live in California. And we know that's not true. We know there's millions of people in California that don't make up to six figures. But it's getting worse. And it's going to get worse because we're going to continue to lose jobs, lose opportunities, lose businesses because of the rules and regulations that the upper people of California have made, causing this massive exodus. How are we going to fix this problem? How is the government of California going to keep these companies here and make sure that they want to stay here? Because right now it doesn't look like California cares. They keep implementing all kinds of rules and regulations that are absolutely unequivocally forcing these companies to leave. And they're leaving en masse. And it's a major problem that California is going to truly have to deal with sooner or later. And the only way to really deal with it is to change all these rules and regulations that you put in place that's causing the mass exodus. Is that going to happen? I highly doubt it. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Keep it going. Next up, we're going to check out the story about this crazy chain reaction crash that happened over in Brooklyn. And, you know, maybe there's no way to truly stop these things from happening, but it's probably, I'm thinking that it's more of a snow situation. We really dealt with that back over in Indiana. I've never been in a chain reaction crash before, but it is a problem when it comes to snow and winter time. But chain reaction crashes, you know, there's got to be certain ways to stop that. But let's check out this story and talk about it.
Right now, a deadly chain reaction crash in Brooklyn. Several vehicles involved. One person is dead. 11 other people injured, including several firefighters.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon live at the scene in Gravesend with video of the actual crash.
First thing we don't see snow on the ground. Might be black ice. It is New York. You know they get cold weather. But let's listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike and Sade, yielding to an emergency vehicle sometimes means having to stop at a green light and let that vehicle through that intersection. And it helps if there are lights and sirens to alert you. But neighbors here at West 11th Street and Avenue S who heard this deadly collision involving 4 vehicles only remember hearing a very loud boom.
I heard that the van had the green light and the fire truck came this way.
Oh,
sandwiches. I don't know if they had the siren on or not. I had no idea. I didn't hear no sound, to be honest.
A camera on a nearby home captured that van heading into the intersection, the fire truck T-boning it. It would go on to slam into an accessoride van full of passengers. Michael Liu owns the van and an HVAC company. His employee was at the wheel after finishing his last job of the day.
Very bad tragedy for my worker. Contra passed the green light and the fire truck without the siren, the red light.
Who's at fault here, guys? Who's at fault? Now, mind you, it looks like the van was traveling at a decent rate of speed, and they say the man just said that the van had the green light. Now, nobody's saying that they heard any sirens, so, you know, most people when they hear sirens, they'll slow down, look in their rear view mirror, see if there's a fire truck or a police officer or something coming up behind them so they could pull over. But oh boy was driving pretty fast. So even if he did hear sirens, if he was going to be able to slow down or not is up to question. Let's keep going.
Hit with my truck.
The worker survived with injuries, but the chain reaction crash claimed the life of a passenger in the accessoride van.
There were almost like 7-8 people in there, and most of them, I feel like they were hurt because they were already like disabled.
Wait,
and
back
then
up.
The door would not.
I want to back up for a second, because they couldn't have been in this van, so another van must have been hit by the fire truck. Let's back up a little bit.
To slam into an accessoride van full of passengers.
There it is.
Michael Liu owns the van and an HVAC company. His employee was at the wheel after finishing his last job of the day.
Very bad tragedy for my worker. Contra passed the green light and the fire truck without the siren, the red light, hit with my truck.
The worker survived with injuries, but the chain reaction crash claimed the life of a passenger in the accessoride van.
There were almost like 7-8 people in there, and most of them, I feel like they were hurt because they were already like disabled, and then the door would not open, and the officer was trying to push it, and it took a long time to open the door.
The accessoride driver and 3 passengers were taken to a hospital where a 78-year-old male passenger was pronounced dead. A Lexus SUV was the 4th vehicle involved when the accessoride van smacked into it.
This is madness.
You didn't hear any sirens?
No, not in my part, no.
Again, the boom of the crash was so loud that that's all these neighbors remember hearing. Now, police in their preliminary investigation here say the lights and sirens on the fire truck were active. It's not clear if the fire truck was headed to a call, but 5 firefighters are among the 11 people injured in this chain reaction crash. All are in stable condition tonight. That 78-year-old passenger in the accessoride van who did not survive has not yet been identified. We're live in Gravesend, Brooklyn. Sonia Rincon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, a little bit more or different than what I thought we were going to see. So, of course, I am watching this for the first time, just like you guys. And, you know, we have to. All right, first we have to dive into what we saw, okay? We saw a van traveling at a high rate of speed, and then we seen a fire truck T-bone, okay? Fire trucks, now the police said that the fire trucks, sirens and lights were working. So if that is true, then it would have been the driver of the van's responsibility to either slow down or stop so the fire truck could get past. That's just common knowledge. Of course, prayers out to the man who lost his life and everybody who got hurt. Let's just pray that they're get better, and pray for the family of the man who lost his life. But if what these people are saying is true, then it would be the fire truck's fault that these people are hurt, injured, or unalived. It's without sound, of course. We cannot prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the truck's sirens and lights were on. So it's just a safety situation, guys. I mean, you know, at this ripe of an age, you know, I don't drive as fast as I used to. That, you know, I am extremely more safer than I used to be. I conduct myself in a very much safer way, specifically when I'm driving, or how fast I'm driving, and how I interact with other people. Used to be a offensive driver. If you guys understand what that is, an offensive driver is going to do whatever they're going to do, no matter what the other person is doing. And as an offensive driver, that's how most accidents happen, because as an offensive driver, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. If somebody get in front of you, you know, it is what it is. I and myself am more of a defensive driver now. I pay attention to what people are doing around me so I can react in a good time. And of course, I find that to be the better way to drive, of course, because, you know, if you're all out there willy-nilly doing whatever you want, then of course, accidents are going to happen. So in this situation, I'm going to truly say that honestly, we don't know who was at fault. We can see that the van was driving at a fast rate of speed, but we don't hear sirens or we don't see lights. So, you know, we're pretty much just going to have to take the police's word for it that those were on, and that this driver of this van should have seen it, heard it, and slowed down. But he didn't, and as a result, several people are injured and one person is unalived. And that's what we try our best to avoid altogether. Just people losing their lives is the ultimate problem that we have when it comes to driving reckless, driving too fast, and all these other types of things that could cause somebody to lose their life when they're behind the wheel. We don't want that anymore. We don't want people losing their lives behind the wheel. We don't like people losing their lives in a crash. These cars are supposed to be designed, most of these vehicles are supposed to be designed to avoid people losing their lives. But of course, we have a situation where it was a ricochet. It was a ricochet. Somebody lost their life. So prayers out to that gentleman. What can we do but say that be mindful, guys. If you can, if you're a defensive driver and you like to drive fast and you like to whip around people and all that, I'm not going to say stop. I'm not going to say stop. I'm going to just say be mindful. If you could become a more of a defensive driver, that would be nice. It would help you out a lot. It would keep you from multiple crashes, and it would keep you from having to come see me to get your car fixed. So, once again, prayers out to the gentleman who lost his life. Prayers to the people who are injured. Let's pray that they get well soon. And my friends, truly, 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 be mindful when you're behind the wheel. You just never know what's going to happen. You don't know if that fire truck is going to come around that corner and smash you into another vehicle and cause somebody to end their life. Okay? All right. Last but not least, I had to get some gas today. And it's been a couple days. I fill up. You know, when I get gas, I fill up. So I don't have to go get gas pretty, regularly at all. I just fill up. So today, a brother had to go get some gas. And here where I live, the cost of gas, premium gas, $6.35. Now I remember a couple of days ago, I was spending like $3.92, maybe at the very most $4.32 for gas. Well, we've all seen the price of gas skyrocket since Trump did his thing over in Iran. Do we expect gases to settle or to go down anytime soon? I highly doubt it. But let's check it out.
Well, gas prices in Southern California continue to rise as a result of the war in Iran.
The New York Times reporting that drivers across America paying on average 20% more at the pump. KTLA 5's Annie Rose Ramos live now from Glendale with those details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning to you both. And all that adds up, right? Gas prices going up for the 11th consecutive day in a row. We're standing here at a mobile gas station in Glendale where I'll step aside so you can see how much it costs. $5.59 per gallon. That price slowly trickling up towards $6. The average here in LA County is about $5.30. This morning we're getting mixed messages from the White House about how long all of this will last.
Rest assured to the American people, the recent increase in oil and gas prices is temporary.
Your debut on the morning. The White House promising these painful gas prices are temporary as we are seeing gas prices continue to rise, with all eyes now focused on the Strait of Hormuz. The strait carries 1/5 of the world's oil and a significant amount of natural gas. But ship traffic through there has been effectively halted because of the risk that vessels could be attacked.
A very serious situation regarding the Strait of Hormuz that provides 20% of the global oil supply, and it is creating a very, very tumultuous and volatile situation. And I wish it got better from there. But as long as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, we've got a very sincere issue when it comes to the price point of gas, and we're monitoring it very carefully.
Now, on Tuesday, the U.S. military says its forces attacked 16 Iranian mine-laying vessels near the strait. Trump administration officials suggesting the possibility of naval escorts for commercial vessels to mitigate the danger. Now, take a look at this post, because yesterday the Energy Secretary posting this message to social media. According to the Wall Street Journal, Secretary Chris Wright saying the U.S. Navy actually started doing that, successfully escorting an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz in order to, quote, maintain stability of global energy during military operations against Iran. But minutes later, the post was abruptly taken down, with the White House now saying what was in this post was not true. Listen.
Ooh.
I was made aware of this post. I haven't had a chance to talk to the Energy Secretary about it directly. However, I know the post was taken down pretty quickly, and I can confirm that the U.S. Navy has not escorted a tanker or a vessel at this time, though, of course, that's an option the President has said he will absolutely utilize if and when necessary at the appropriate time.
Better get to it.
That whole tweet debacle, Megan and Chris, sending the price of crude oil straight down in one of its drastic drops in one-day period that we have seen in years. Now, as far as gas prices here go, we are at a gas station where the gas price is very high in this area at $5.59. We checked on Gas Buddy, which is an app that helps sort of monitor the prices around the corner over on San Fernando. We saw that one gas station has gas at around $5.19 per gallon. So a little bit of a different price. That's the lowest we've seen in the area. But for now, guys, back to you.
Yeah, and I had a homie tell me that gas over in LA was all the way up to like $8. Yeah, so there's a lot of mixed messages going on and a lot of misinformation going on as well. I truly believe that, it's greed that's causing the gas prices to go up. I understand this situation with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz and the availability to get the crude oil over here. But that doesn't explain the hike in the gas prices. We didn't just now start needing that oil from over that way to get to us to hike up these gas prices. Honestly, for me, I still think that it is more about the owners of these gas stations and the people who are supplying the gas that's hiking up the prices. And they're just doing it based off the fact that we're at war with Iran. That's what they're basing us off. And they're using the excuse of the Strait of Hormuz and the lack of crude oil to, gouge your pockets. That's what I think. I mean, it doesn't truly make sense. We've seen all kinds of situations where gas prices have fluctuated, and that we understand. But with this whole Iran situation, didn't we start getting massive amounts of oil from Venezuela when that happened? What happened to that oil? Why are we using that oil to produce our oils to save us money? It's just not making sense totally. The idea is that, and we talked about this a long time ago, but the idea truly is that these people who are supplying the gas are the ones hiking up the gas prices no matter what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, what's going on with Iran, what's going on with anybody. These people are just taking this opportunity to hike up the gas because they can, and they know that it gives them a viable reason to. Now, mind you, there's still gas stations that have to, do that whole situation where they have to change out the storage facilities for their gas underneath the buildings. That's still a big problem that we have out in California. So that's going to add to the problem of the cost of gas in itself as well. So it's just a horrible thing that's continued to happen, and it's being used against us. I truly think that these gas companies are just using this to pad their pockets. I don't understand how the lack of this crude oil coming in from Hormuz, when we're getting more oil from Venezuela and we already have certain supplies of oil here, would cause the gas prices to skyrocket so quickly over the course of 11 days. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know why they're doing it. Well, I know why they're doing it. They padding their pockets. They got to make as much money as they can while they can. And they don't know how long that we're going to be at war with Iran, so they're just jumping on it. They're just jumping on it, making it known that, hey, we're at war with Iran. We was getting a good percentage of our oil from that area, so we're going to make y'all pay more for this gas. There's no proof in the idea that these gas prices should be skyrocketing because of a lack of oil coming from Iran or Iraq. It just doesn't make sense. We have our own supplies of oil here. We have new suppliers of oil coming from Venezuela. They was talking about they didn't really know what they was going to do with that, but we have it. So why are we not using it to make sure that the gas prices don't continue to skyrocket and people continue to have to pay these extreme prices for gas to get around? Gas is a thing that people need. Gas is a thing that people need. Now, mind you, if we lived in a world where there was only electric vehicles, maybe that'd be different, but we don't. We live in a place where a good majority of vehicles still take gas, and a good majority of people need that gas in their cars to go to work, to make money, to pay for that gas. It's a horrible cycle, and the true line that is being crossed is with these gas companies hiking up their prices under the illusion that they're not getting the same amount of oil that they was getting before, when they wasn't technically getting their oil from those areas of Hormuz. You know who's getting that oil? The oil companies here. And then they're producing the gas. The oil companies are the ones who's skyrocketing these prices and causing the gases to go up so much. And it's killing us. It's killing a lot of people. Like I said, I can't care about how much gas costs. I got to get around. I got to travel. I got stuff to do. And that's like most people. Even if you're on a budget and you have a low-paying job, you still need gas to get around. And if gas keeps skyrocketing, it's just going to continue to hurt your pockets to the point where you might not be able to afford the necessities, like food, like housing. We will continue to have a problem, of course, when it comes to the price of gas, as long as we're at war with Iran, because that is just the picture that they're producing that says, because we're at war with Iran, it is a known idea that gas prices is going to go up. And I don't believe they should. I don't understand why. We have our own supplies of oil. We have oil coming in from Venezuela. Somebody lying. I don't know who, but somebody lying. And they need to fix it. Now, they said that they're going to do something about these raising prices in gas, what they gonna do? Start transporting or, escorting these ships through the strait? They were saying that they weren't having problems getting vehicles through the strait now. Is an escort going to help it more? Is that going to get the gas here or the oil here quicker so the prices go down? No. So once again, guys, this whole elevated amount of gas that we're paying, I honestly don't think it has anything to do with Iran. I think it's just people being greedy. And that is the biggest problem that we have in this world. Greed. Because everything around us, specifically here in California, has gone up in price. You know how we talk about the price of cars? I looked at an F-350 the other day, for certain reasons. You know that the majority of those F-250s and 350s are over 100K? Over 100K. I know for a fact that's not how much it costs to manufacture the vehicle. I know what the MSRP is. But they're selling them for over 100K. People are just being greedy, asking for way too much. And that's what has been destroying our world for the longest time. Back in the days, people understood, hey, I'm going to give you this for a fair price. I'm going to give you this for a little bit more than it took me to create it or the time they took me to make it, but not overdo it. Not make you pay 10 times what is normal. We live in a world where people are just paying astronomical numbers for things that they shouldn't be paying astronomical numbers for. And we continue to have a financial problem as long as that continues to happen. That's why it was such a big thing with imports and how cheap those imports were and how the American people were soaking those imports up because they were cheaper. Because most of the things that we buy in America have been rocketed in price. And it is now a situation where we have to get the people in America to understand that some of these things is way too expensive. And you need to start with California. Alright guys, I'm going to let y'all go and get up out of here. I am Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Car Concierge Show. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Hit me in the DMs if you have any questions. And I'm out. Peace.